you say you're tired all the time? You are fatigued, exhausted, but no amount of coffee, Netflix binging, or napping throughout the day does it for you. It feels heavier. There's something deeper going on there. You don't actually feel like yourself. So these terms, burnt out and overworked and tired, are all thrown around like they're the same thing, but they're not. How do you know the difference? And if you're not just tired, but you feel disconnected and you don't feel like yourself, maybe you feel a little lost, you may be looking at burnt out. Let me break it down for you in this video to help you realize or figure out if you're running on empty and need to recharge. When you're tired, it's usually temporary. It's usually because you literally need rest. You need more sleep, you haven't been getting consistent sleep, or there's been something else that's distracting you while you're trying to get to sleep. Either way, tired is dealing with sleepiness or fatigue. But once you rest, once you reset, get back on your sleep routine and get a consistent amount of sleep, and mind you, it usually takes about 5 days of a consistent sleep schedule to get back on your routine of getting enough sleep throughout the night. Hopefully, you're getting at least 7 hours. Then you feel better if it's really that you're tired. So, tired is usually temporary. Let's talk about burnout. Burnout is a different beast because it feels like you're running on fumes all the time. And even if you start to catch up on your sleep schedule, even if you start to get more consistent sleep, you might have trouble falling asleep, staying asleep. Even when you rest, you may still wake up feeling exhausted. It feels like you're always running on less than a quarter tank of gas and all the gas stations are closed. You may feel detached, unmotivated to do things that you're usually motivated or self driven to do, or you might even feel numb. Some common signs of burnout are constant fatigue, trouble focusing, feeling emotionally irritable throughout the day, losing passion for things that you used to enjoy, and feeling like you're just going through the motions. These are often common signs of episodes of depression. Now, I'm not here to diagnose anybody because I am not a doctor, but when you are a person who's always expected to be strong and always expected to hold it down for other people, maybe in your friend group or your family, you're the strong one, the one that's always expected to have the answers and kind of like the counselor for your friends and family. I relate. Then you might have these signs and symptoms, and you may be able to kind of get around for a little bit, noticing that there's an underlying not feeling like yourself, feeling off type of vibe going on, but you may just be able to push through because you're the type A, which is like resilient, keeps the train moving, keeps it going. Maybe you think more with your head than your heart. So even though you may be an empathetic person, you can still drown while staying afloat, if you know what I mean. Drowning and suffocating on the inside, but just smiling on the outside. But that is not a great way to live. So here are a few things that I would ask yourself right now. If you feel like this might be you, ask yourself these questions. These are like some make or break questions to see if you're really dealing with burnout here. Question number one: if I rested for a full weekend, would I feel better or still emotionally drained? Question number two: am I starting to feel numb or detached from things that I normally enjoy? Question number three: do I feel like I'm functioning on autopilot more often than not? Question number four: do I like myself lately? That last one hit home. If you answer yes to most of these, then you might be experiencing burnout, my friend, but that's okay. Everyone gets there some days, and I've been there. So, these are a few things that you will need to know to reset. But first of all, if you're enjoying this video already, I talk about things like mindfulness, how to build stable habits for your mental and physical well being. And I talk about lock journeys and sustaining yourself physically, mentally, and spiritually. So if you enjoy those type of videos, then subscribe and also give this video a like so I know to make more of them. So before we talk about like what to do about burnout and how to actually take the time that you need even when you feel like you don't have any time, let's talk about why you may be experiencing burnout. Like, what are the things that got you here? Because burnout is like a ship slowly drifting away, right? At first, you're in the ship, you're on your conquest or your voyage, and slowly and surely, you start to inch by inch get off of your parameters. And if you change little by little the dial on the coordinates for where you're going, you won't notice much of a change at first. But over a longer period of time, maybe like hours and hours and hours, that little shift in where you're aiming at could lead you to a whole different destination than where you originally were going. And then you're lost. And that's usually how we get to a phase of burnout. So let's talk about a couple things. Number one, emotional labor. There can be things that are taking emotional tolls on us in our life that may seem small to us, but when we start to push off those small emotional labor tolls over and over and over and over again, it's like our mind is saying, okay, you're pounding the horse with the stick, however that phrase goes. But basically, there are little things in your life that bother you, and usually when they bother you, you're like, it's whatever, it's I can deal with it. But it gets to a point when you no longer want to deal with it anymore. And but by that point, maybe you've invested so much time or energy into having it be your little pet, that it gets to a point where it's starting to take over your mental space and a lot more of your mental capacity than what you originally planned for, what you originally budgeted for. Our mind, our mental capacity, and our emotional capacity has a budget, and it's kind of like budgeting your money. You have a certain allotted allowance for this thing to take up your mental capacity, but the more that you just allow it to fester and grow, the more mental capacity it's going to take you. So, what is that in your life? Is that a relationship? Is that a friendship? Is that your work? Is that a coworker or boss? Is that a task in your life that is taking up too much that you could assign to somebody else, but you maybe are harboring too much pride to give it away, or to relinquish the power or the responsibility to someone else? Are you taking on too much emotional labor in your life in any one of those areas? Usually it's interpersonal. So usually we can trace that back to a relationship, whether, like I said, it's a friendship or a romantic relationship. Because whether we want to realize it or not, interpersonal relationships make up a significant amount of our emotional currency that we spend. So look at your close relationships. What's going on in that aspect? That might point you exactly to where you're experiencing some burnout. And sometimes we say, well, this person's in my life, and we've had some good times and we had some bad times, but now, I think that the good is still outweighing the bad. Well, in that case, if you trace your burnout back to that specific, if I'm saying all of this and a specific event is coming to your mind and you're like, well, that could be it, but no, sweetie, it probably is. And there's a couple things we can do about that. We can, hold a person at arm's length, meaning we just decide to spend a lot less time with them, or we could cut them off, whatever. Those answers will be revealed to you in time, especially with how much time we currently and how much mental capacity that currently takes up. You'll usually know exactly what to do, but you'll be in denial of it. And sometimes it takes a long time. But yeah, look at those things that are taking an emotional toll in your life. Start there. Another thing is, like I said, how you think people perceive you as the one who always is the fix it, Mr. Fix It, or Mr. or Miss Handy Manny for other people. Are you always the strong one for your friends, your family, etc.? Are you always the one who people count on, who people call? But are you always the one who people assume that's doing fine because you never ask people to check up on you? You never ask for help. You never display any type of dependency or needing someone. And sometimes we bite ourselves in the butt, if you know what I'm saying, with treating other people as if we are always there for them and they're never allowed to be there for us. This can create a lot of conflict in the way that we show up because we may have resentment. Why doesn't anybody show up for me? Why am I always the one who's fixing it for other people? And you may have this playing in the back of your subconscious mind. That right there is a direct reflection of how we teach other people to treat us. Everyone in your life is trained to treat you a certain way based upon the cues that you've given and the social cues that you've given to them. For example, whenever someone asks you, hey, do you need help carrying your groceries? Do you need help, something at your job? Do you need help with whatever? I can't think of anything. Do you need help? Do you need help? Do you need help? And your answer is always, no, I got this. No, it's good. I don't need help. No, you don't have to ask me. I got this. And your answer is always, I got this. I got this. Every time you do that, you are training the people around you to see you as not needing any help ever. Because eventually they're going to stop asking, do you need help? Eventually they're going to stop checking up on you because we've trained the people in our lives to not think that we need them at all. And people, humans, we are all wired from birth to be interdependent, not codependent or not independent. And also, each of those things are opposite ends of the spectrum. Codependency is you are always codependent, or it's usually about a partnership. You are dependent on them, they're dependent on you. The other end of the spectrum is too independent. You are too I got it all the time. You're too independent. So neither of those work for being able to have a stable relationship anywhere, friendship, relationship, or interpersonal life, because you have a difficult time accepting help. And that's okay. That may be a prime reason why you feel burnt out, because they say it takes a village to raise a child, but also aren't all of us children? Aren't all adults just children in grown-up clothes? Like, can we be honest? We are always looking to do things that remind us of our inner child. So in my opinion, we're all children. We are still being raised even as we get into our 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. And if we continue to go about life rejecting other people's help and trying to be too independent, we'll always be building a bridge for ourselves for burnout. Another reason you may be feeling burnt out is because you never actually clock out. Now, this is self-inflicted, honestly. I know what it's like to be an entrepreneur and to be always on the go. And a lot of entrepreneurs face this head on. Even if you're not full-time, even if you have a 9 to 5 and then you have your 5 to 9 as an entrepreneur, you are always on go. Something about not clocking out is that no one is in charge of you. You are your own boss. You tell yourself when you're going to clock out of work, when you're going to take your break, when you're going to take your vacation. The advantage is that it's sweet. Nobody gets to tell you to do it, and you get to be your own boss, so to speak. And I feel like that's glamorized a lot, especially in today's society where we have AI and technology advancing. And honestly, you can make a business out of anything and start to do whatever you need to do. However, because no one else is helping you regulate your schedule and it's all up to you, it's all under your discretion. The truth is, some of us don't clock out. The truth is, some of us don't think that we need to clock out. And so we keep on running and running and running. And what I used to tell myself personally is that I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going because I'm almost there. And then I'm almost there. And then there's something else that comes up, right? And it's something that was completely unexpected. And then I'm like, okay, let me just deal with this one more thing and then I'll take a break. And so I'm like, okay, I'm dealing with that. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. And then something else comes up. And then it just becomes a cycle, things coming up, things coming up. And the truth is, everything or every time, there will always be things that come up as long as the world is spinning on its axis and as long as the planets are orbiting around the sun, there will always be things that come up. You can't let the outside world decide when you get a break. You can't let your circumstances decide when you take a vacation. You can't let your circumstances decide when you get to rest. You decide that. And so if you feel like you have a difficult time reclaiming your time, that might be a reason. Okay, one really, really important one is mental overstimulation. We have such a wide range of options at our fingertips for how we want to be mentally stimulated and honestly distracted and cognitively overloaded that we can have cognitive overload at our fingertips, and we have it every day and we don't even realize it because it is how we are starting to be oriented to want to be stressed all the time. And sometimes you can be addicted to stress. If you're addicted to stress, you might find yourself picking up your phone subconsciously, going into your X app, logging out, going into your Instagram app, scrolling, not even knowing what you're looking at. 5 minutes goes by, 10 minutes go by, 15 minutes go by, an hour goes by, and you're like, wait, hold up. What time is it? Ghost time. Anyways, log out of Instagram, go on WhatsApp, log out of that, Snapchat, whatever else you use, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, hours have gone by and I don't I don't remember what I was doing beforehand. That is your mind on autopilot. And that happens if you're mentally overstimulated. You could be stressed out mentally, but the overstimulation comes when you are distracted by so many things at once that you have a cognitive overload. And sometimes the way I fix that is social media detoxing. Social media detoxing is great for a reset, mentally resetting your habits and not being on autopilot all the time. Sometimes you don't realize that the habits that you have are taking so much time and energy up from your mental and cognitive load. Sometimes those things are taking up so much of our mental load that we don't even know what it's like to choose our own input into our brain. Like, we don't know what it's like to choose what we look at. There's so many things like ads out, and my Instagram feed is like 70% ads. I mean, really, come on now. Like, you we have the least amount of control over what we see, and as soon as we open that social media app, we are giving up all of our control to the algorithm, all of it. You can configure your settings as much as you want, but you're giving your mind control to the algorithm and you don't even know it as soon as you start scrolling. So, some of us can be addicted to that stress and that cognitive overload that we want to get out of that cycle, but we have to throw ourselves out of it. Literally, we have to detox. So every once in a while, I delete the apps and I don't go on them for like, sometimes it'll be months at a time. The last time it was months at a time, and it feels good. You realize that you can have a lot more time in your day. You realize that you have a lot more energy. You can get things done faster. And there will always be something that wants to distract us. But we just have to realize how much control we have over what we see, what we watch, and how burnt out we get. So just know that. So, really, tip number one is slow down on purpose. I mean, really slow down. Slow down, take more breaks in your day, take more quiet time in your day. Meditate. Even if it's just 5 minutes during the day, you set a alarm on your phone to let you know when it's time to shut everything off and shut everything down and just listen. Listen to your breath. Tip number two, reclaim your boundaries. Set your boundaries, whether it's with that family member, relationship, friend, whatever is hogging your emotional currency, your emotional allowance, your emotional budget, whatever's spending that up, stop that. Tip number three, create a recovery routine. So our body thrives on routines. When you do get to that state of, I'm noticing that I'm a little burnt out, right? Whenever you do get there, or hopefully before you get there, you have a routine that you know works for you, whether it's to attend a yoga class that you haven't attended in a while and do a social media detox while you reset your diet, like whatever it is for you, create that reset routine. And tip four, ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Your therapist, your friend, your significant other, whoever you go to, preferably you have something outside of your personal relationships that you can go to for major help. If you're needing something personally fulfilled within you, hopefully you're not going to other human beings to do that, but you are filling yourself up, whether it is with your faith, whether you are praying more, whether you are journaling more, whether you're reading your Bible more or your religious text more, whatever it is for you that you're doing to fill you up, fill your cup up, because that's one of the most important things that you can do for you. And if no one's told you lately, you don't have to do anything to earn rest. It's already your birthright. That's why babies sleep so damn much. Because they're, excuse my language, because they know that when it's tired, when their body needs rest, their body needs rest. When your body needs rest, it needs rest. Don't ignore it. Don't skip by it. You deserve it already. You don't need to earn it. You don't need to work for it. Just claim it for yourself. If you like this video, then watch this video right here as well. And I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.